Afghanistan's President Hamid Karzai has offered protection to Taliban leader Mullah Omar in exchange for peace. President Karzai says if the international community disagrees with the move, it can attempt to remove him from office or leave the country. Well, Professor Amin Saikal has spent many years following developments in Afghanistan, and he's the director of the Centre for Arab and Islamic Studies at the Australian National University, and he joins us now live from Canberra. Professor Saikal, it's claimed Mullah Omar is running the insurgency in Afghanistan. What's he likely to demand from Hamid Karzai in return for peace?
Well, he is most likely to repeat his past demand, and that is that the foreign troops should leave Afghanistan first before he enters any form of negotiation with the Karzai government. But of course, this is a demand that the Karzai government cannot meet, because the survival of his government is very much dependent on the continued presence of those foreign forces for some time to come.
Well, the US considers Omar a wanted terrorist, of course. How do you think Washington's going to respond to President Karzai's ultimatum, and that is to oust him from power or to leave get its troops out of Afghanistan if it disagrees?
But my understanding is that President Karzai could not have made this offer without the knowledge of Washington, because he knows that he cannot really get offside with Washington too much on these issues. There has been a chorus of calls on the part of many NATO military and civilian figures in the last few months that the time probably has come to negotiate with the Taliban, and that is the best way to really take this thing out of the insurgency. And Washington itself has come to the conclusion that perhaps this is not a conflict that Washington could easily win, and therefore one way to really see the situation somewhat smoothing out is to bring some of the elements of the Taliban leadership on board. So in a way, President Karzai and some of his international allies have been working for some time to pave the way for some kind of what you may call re-Talibanization of Afghan politics, which is very much along the line of reba'athification of the Iraqi politics.
A mass withdrawal of foreign troops, though, would have a major impact on the security situation, though, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, and it is very likely that President Karzai's government could easily collapse, if not within days, definitely within weeks. Of course, President Karzai presides over a very weak and, for that matter, also corrupt and dysfunctional government, and he knows it, and that's why his promise of providing security to Mullah Omar in return for the Taliban leader coming to the negotiating table is likely to ring very hollow as far as the Taliban is concerned, and the Taliban leadership is likely to take this as a sign of weakness, not as a sign of strength. And as long as the Karzai government remains very weak and its international supporters remain very much divided and do not have a coherent strategy, it would be very hard for them to really persuade the Taliban to come to the negotiating table.
Professor Saikal, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.